your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
When it's this nice out, you got to make it out to the Matex Heating Cooling Weather Garden because it is just gorgeous out here on this Thursday with clear skies. We had the rain showers that were around last night push off to the north, and then look at the numbers showing up right now. 80 degrees in Champaign, 81 Springfield and in Effingham, and these temperatures are going to stay nice. Now, it is a little breezy out there. We do have a nice southerly wind gusting up to 30 miles per hour right now. And there's a look at Neal Street, just outside the Weather Garden here. Staying mild tonight, upper 60s through 11 o'clock, but a big cool down for tomorrow. We'll talk about the tumbling temps when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
The search for a deadly hit-and-run suspect is over. What happened today that put an end to that hunt? Plus, a mother is searching for answers after the death of her son, where he was hours before he died. And this car left the road and crashed into a pond. Who came to that driver's rescue?
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 5.
A man's been taken into custody for the deadly hit-and-run in Muhammad. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini. 41-year-old Robert O'Malley turned himself into police today. The crash happened on Sunday, October 11th on Route 150. 50-year-old Bill Shue was killed. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen is live in Urbana outside of the sheriff's office. Jennifer, recap for us exactly what happened.
Paul, police say the night of the crash, 3 cyclists were riding down the side of Route 150. 2 of them were hit by a driver in a vehicle that left the scene without stopping. Police released this surveillance image that you see on your screen right now of a white Mustang involved in the crash. The crucial evidence that identified this car was the broken side view mirror left behind at the scene. A warrant for O'Malley's arrest went out last night, and today he turned himself into police. The state's attorney said his Mustang was found in a building owned by his family. O'Malley is charged with leaving the scene of a personal injury accident that resulted in death. We reached out to Bill Shue's family to hear from them on this arrest, but their lawyer said they have no comment. Coming up tonight at 6 o'clock on WCIA, we'll share why the state's attorney decided not to charge O'Malley with reckless homicide. Live in Urbana, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Jennifer, we'll look forward to hearing from you again at 6 o'clock. Thank you. Now, we reported last night about a man who called WCIA to clear his name in this case. He has a very similar white Mustang to the car in the surveillance picture police released of the car in question. That man was not the same person who turned himself into police today. 2 people are dead after a crash south of Rantoul near County Road 2700 North last night. Police say a 67-year-old man from Urbana was driving on the wrong side of the road when he collided with a 28-year-old woman from Rantoul head-on. Both drivers died. Their names have not been released. 29-year-old Trevor Johnson was a passenger in the woman's car. He was taken to the hospital. The road was closed for 6 hours. Nightly road work on I-57 didn't get done, causing 2 crashes within a mile of each other. One of those happened along the I-57 southbound lanes between Market Street and Olympian Drive. There was quite a bit of damage to the first vehicle, and there was also a semi pulled over with some damage. Authorities say no one was hurt. No word if anyone was hurt in that second crash. We now know the name of the woman who died in a crash in Macon County yesterday. The coroner says 84-year-old Esther Eichste was killed. Her pickup and a semi crashed at the intersection of Route 121 and Weichels Road. Police say a woman is not seriously hurt after driving her car into a pond. It happened at Interstate Drive and Neal Street in Champaign. One person says she was on her way back from Walmart when she saw it happen. She says the car made a right turn, and it kept turning. After it went into the pond, she and the driver behind her got out to help.
Was upset, nervous wreck. We just tried to keep her calm, keep her holding still until help got here. Another lady who lives in the apartments across from the pond jumped in, and the 2 of them was able to get her out the window right as the car went under the water.
Dive teams responded to the scene. Champaign police say a medical issue may have played a role. A mother is demanding answers after her son was found dead last month. The woman found the body of Andre White at the corner of Commercial and College in Danville. WCIA 3's COURTNEY Bunting joins us now. So, Courtney, what is White's mother questioning?
Well, Paul, she feels investigators aren't giving her all the information about how her son died. White had just been released from jail hours before. He was booked on September 25th for speeding, having marijuana illegally, not having insurance, and driving without a license. He was also on parole at the time. Officers told White's mother, Misty Turner, that he was released around 1:30 in the morning the next day. That was on the 26th. He was found dead less than a half mile from the jail, around 5:30 that same morning. Turner says someone from the coroner's office told her White likely didn't die in the same spot where he was found.
I feel like something happened to my son, and they're trying to cover it up. I want to have the video footage of him actually leaving the jail, because I don't know if he actually even left the jail. I don't know if he was dumped here. It looks like he was, from what I've heard, it looks like he was just placed here, to cover up something.
Turner says the coroner's office told her White likely swallowed baggies of drugs, and that's how he died. I called the coroner's office, and I was told they're still waiting on a toxicology report, but they didn't suspect any foul play. Turner says she was also suspicious about the fact that White wasn't found with anything on him. He didn't have his glasses, his cell phone, or his wallet. Live in the newsroom, Courtney Bunting, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Sounds like a lot of questions need answers. Courtney, thanks. A man in Paris is dead after a house fire. The body of Larry Aerosmith was found inside. Crews were called to South Central and West Elizabeth on Monday. When they arrived, they were told nobody was there. They later learned someone was inside. After searching debris, the Illinois fire marshal found Aerosmith's remains. The coroner has ruled the cause of death as an accident. A garage filled with live ammunition caught fire this morning in Champaign County. Happened at a house near County Road 600 East and County Road 2400 North. Firefighters say they don't know what caused the fire, and they also say there was no structural damage to the rest of the house, and nobody, thankfully, was hurt. We have an update on a coronavirus outbreak we've been following at Lincoln's Challenge Academy in Rantoul. Another 35 cadets and 7 more staff are COVID-19 positive. All are either asymptomatic or have minor symptoms. Now, a total of 65 cadets and 8 staff have had the virus. 8 cadets and 1 staff member have recovered. The academy director says they are testing weekly and following proper isolation and sanitation protocol. Another 20 cadets are set to be released from quarantine later this week. Today's positive COVID-19 test nearly reached 5,000. More than 360,000 people in Illinois have had COVID-19. The positivity rate remains 5.7% over the last week. Almost 2,500 people have been hospitalized since last night with COVID-19, with 525 of those patients in the ICU. There have also been 44 more deaths in the state, including 5 in central Illinois. There have been almost 9,400 COVID-related deaths in Illinois. It's good news for families, what they could soon get financial help for. Plus, it's a building some say has a historical name, why a university is now considering making a change.